From the beginning of the conflict between Russia and Ukraine, Russia has been subjected to a variety of sanctions imposed by the United States and other Western nations. But in contrast to the majority of other nations, China has opted to work more closely with Russia. Recently, China and Russia have revealed their intentions to work together on a major initiative. An incredible energy project will be constructed with the combined investments of the two parties totaling $94 billion. It is anticipated that it will be able to bring in more than $1 trillion in revenue in the future. Yet, certain nations in Europe and North America see this effort as a potential danger to their security. This is a channel about actual projects that people are working on. If you are prepared to help me out, would you mind clicking the link to subscribe to my channel? Discovering new and fascinating initiatives is something we should do together. The export of natural gas, oil, coal, and other resources is the primary source of money for the Russian government. Russia is a prominent player in the global energy market. By 2021, Russia's total tax take will amount to $200 billion in American currency. The earnings from exporting oil and natural gas represented for more than 60% of the total, and it reached a peak of $125 billion US. China is Russia's greatest consumer for the importation of energy, surpassing even European nations in importance. As an example, China will purchase 86.25 million tons of oil and 18 billion cubic meters of natural gas from Russia in 2022. These commodities will be imported into China. However, since the beginning of the war between Russia and Ukraine, Western nations have begun to sanction Russia, and most European nations have banned the import of Russian energy. This has resulted in Russia losing all of its European allies, which has caused Russia to lose its position as a global power. In addition, Russia's economy is now under a significant amount of strain due to the high cost of the conflict. Russia is going to have to come up with a different and novel solution if it wants to get out from under its current economic predicament. Today, Russian President Vladimir Putin has placed his hopes in China and inked an energy cooperation agreement with China for $94 billion. This initiative has the potential to generate more than $1 trillion worth of wealth to Russia in the not-too-distant future. It is a project referred to as Siberia Power 2. The Sino-Russian Natural Gas Project Partnership is now working on its second large-scale pipeline project, known as Siberian Power 2. Over 6,700 km will be covered by the project pipeline in its whole. It is certain that the Siberia Power 2 pipeline project will begin in Russia and continue into Mongolia, even if the precise path that the pipeline will take is still the subject of ongoing debate, and arrive at our last destination, the province of Heilongjiang in China. We did some research and came to the conclusion that the Siberia Power No. 2 pipeline project is scheduled to begin building in 2024 and will be formally put into operation in 2029, according to the information that is presently being given by Russia. Due to the scale of the undertaking, which will take place across 3 nations, the total investment will amount to $94 billion. Out of this total, $67 billion were allocated for the building of the project, and an additional $27 billion were necessary for investment in businesses that are directly connected to the development of the project, such as the steel, concrete, and chemical industries. What kind of value may it potentially offer to China? Energy is the driving force behind China's current and future economic growth. The efficiency with which China's economy and society can function is significantly impacted by the question of whether or not energy can be delivered in a secure and consistent manner. Also, the cost of energy imports is of utmost significance to Chinese businesses as a result of the correlation between the cost of energy and the cost of energy and the cost of manufacturing industrial goods. 4. The strength that Siberia has. The construction of a natural gas pipeline in China has resulted in a significant decrease in the cost of China's import of natural gas from Russia. Because of this reduction in production costs, the goods that are manufactured in China will be more competitive on the worldwide market. In point of fact, China is quite worried about its energy imports due to the fact that over 70% of the country's energy comes from outside sources. In the past, the majority of these imported forms of energy made their way to China through the Strait of Malacca. But because of the American hegemonic power, China's shipping routes in the Strait of Malacca are vulnerable to being severed by the United States, which would be very catastrophic for China. China has been developing a number of energy import routes in Siberia in an effort to improve this problem. According to projections made by the International Energy Agency, Russia will ship 155 billion cubic meters of natural gas to the members of the European Union in the year 2020. The Beihai-No-1 natural gas pipeline was responsible for transporting 59.2 billion cubic meters of gas, which is equivalent to approximately 40 of Russia's total natural gas exports to the European Union. When the crisis between Russia and Ukraine broke out, Russia and Germany were planning to spend 10 billion euros in the building of BI-2. At the time, BI-2's construction was about to be finished. The United States led Western nations in maintaining their pressure on the target country. As a result of the mounting pressure, Germany decided to cease its collaboration with the Russian Beihai-2 project once the war between Russia and Ukraine began out. Most crucially, as a result of China's meteoric ascent, Western nations have been making a variety of attempts to exert control over China's energy sector and to dampen the country's economic growth. In the current time, China imports a significant quantity of oil and other forms of energy via the Strait of Malacca. The fact that the United States Navy maintains control over this traditional channel for energy imports presents an apparent and hidden threat to China's energy security. Yet at this time, China and Russia are working together to construct Electric Power of Siberia 2, a project that is very significant for the whole globe. China ensures the stability of Russia's fiscal income, and Russia also ensures the stability of China's energy supply chain due to the fact that their economies are extremely complementary to one another. As a result of the process of economic globalization, the degree of collaboration between China and Russia will continue to deepen. In the future, Western nations will never be successful in enforcing energy sanctions against China and Russia.